Hello, everybody. So, as you guys know, this coming Thursday, we're going to be heading out to the Ark Encounter Trip. And I wanted to take a moment just to give you a few of those final details just in case you weren't able to make it to the informational. So, I'm going to be going over the itinerary with you first. Then, we're going to be going over some information that students and parents might be interested in. And then, I'm going to be going over a packet that I'm going to be giving each one of you with some cool devotionals and information. So, let's start off with the itinerary. So in the itinerary, and each of you will be receiving one of these, you'll see that we're going to be meeting here at Northgate Church at 12:30. Okay, so before you come, make sure you eat lunch. We're not going to be stopping for lunch or anything. You can also bring snacks with you. And then we're going to be loading up our luggage and we're going to be leaving at 1 o'clock. So make sure you use the restroom because we're going to have a few stops on the way, but those are going to be controlled by the bus driver. So when we get to Kentucky, we're going to go to Cece's. We're going to have a pizza party there. It's a restaurant that has all-you-can-eat pizza, and it also has salads and other options like that. So that's going to be covered for you, so you don't have to worry about paying for that. Then we'll go to our hotel, we'll unload, we'll get settled into our rooms. And then for the young people, they might be interested in knowing that there is an indoor pool over at the hotel. So they'll want to bring their swimming suits and they'll want to bring their towels and stuff. At 9:30, we're going to be having a devotional time for the students. So the girls will go up into the girls' room and the guys will go into the guys' room. And then we're going to be doing a devotional. Parents, if your kids are coming with you as a family unit, but they want to join in with, the devotional time, and even if they want to spend the night in the teens' room, they can feel free to do that. Just make sure that you give me a heads up that that's what they plan on doing. Okay, on Friday, we're going to be waking up at 7:30. We're going to have breakfast. And then at 9:30, you need to be ready to load back up onto the bus. So we'll meet up into the front of the hotel to load onto the bus, and then we'll depart for the Ark Encounter. While we're on our way to the Ark Encounter, we're going to be having a morning devotional. When we get there, we'll split up into either chaperone groups, or if you're a family unit, you can just stick as a family unit. But for the students, you'll pick out a person to be a chaperone for you. And I'll show you the list of who the chaperones will be. And then also while you're there, you're going to be in charge of getting your own lunch. So as a family, you can decide when you want to eat lunch. As a chaperone group, you can decide when you want to eat lunch. But just make sure you take a pause to eat sometime during the day. At 5 o'clock, we're going to be meeting at Zara's Kitchen. And for the teens, this is going to be a time where we're going to have a table talk time. That's kind of like a question and answer time. There's several gentlemen who are dedicated to studying apologetics and have put a lot of thought into this stuff. And they've agreed to make themselves available to you for any questions that you would have about exhibits that you saw while at the Ark Encounter. And simply just talk about what you're curious about, any questions that you've had. And again, for any teens who are going on the trip or college students, if you're interested in joining in on this, feel free to join in on these conversations. We'll also have an opportunity to purchase a book or a DVD for like the teens or the kids or any college students. We'll cover a book or a DVD for $20 or less. So you can pick out a book while you're there, or you can pick out a book when you're over at the Creation Museum. But I want you to know that that is a thing. And for families, there's a lot of great resources there that I encourage you to look at and consider buying. So we're going to be meeting. We're going to be leaving then back to the hotel at 7:30, and we'll get back around 9:30. It'll just be time for you guys to, for the teens to come for the devotional. For the rest of you, you can just go ahead and you can relax and just enjoy the rest of your evening. Saturday, we're going to be waking up a little bit earlier, so we're waking up at 6:30 because we're going to have to pack our bags, and we're going to have to load our luggage. 8 o'clock, we're meeting at the front of the hotel to load the luggage. Everybody needs to be there with all of their luggage already packed. You can get breakfast then, and then we're going to be departing a little bit earlier for the Creation Museum, so we'll be leaving at 9 o'clock in the morning. Again, you'll split up into either chaperone groups or you'll go with your parents. You might even be able to jump on board with a tour during that time. And then 2 to 3 o'clock, I'll be in the bookstore. I'm going to give teens, kids, and college students an opportunity to buy a book or a DVD again. 5 o'clock, everybody needs to meet for dinner at Noah's Cafe. Again, teens will have a table talk time. And then at 6:30, we are going to be loading onto the bus, and we're going to be heading back to Northgate Church. We should be getting back to the church around 11:30 or 12 o'clock. And for those students who are going as part of the youth group, I'll send your parents a text 30 minutes ahead of time so that they know to be at the church to pick you up. So that's what I have as far as the itinerary goes. So now I'm going to go over some additional information. How much money should you bring with you on the trip? Since you are going to be covering lunches and dinners for yourself, I would advise for students to bring about $100 for them. And this will also cover for any souvenirs. So it will be a little bit extra there. So I advise bringing $100 per person with you in addition. As far as chaperones goes, we're going to have Eric and Valerie, Sharian, so Dr. John and Mariama. John Peters will be there, Eric and Nanook. They'll be joining us. Dan and Lisa will be joining us. Caleb and Kelly will be there, and Bob will be there as well as myself. So all of us are going to be there to help chaperone students while at the hotel and also while at the Ark Encounter. We are going to be using a 55-passenger bus, so that should give us plenty of room. For teens, stuff that you will be wanting to bring with you, obviously clothes and any toiletries and stuff. The swimming trunks, if you plan on going swimming, and a towel. I also advise for you to bring a sleeping bag with you. There are going to be sheets and pillows and stuff like that at the hotel. But for some of you, you may prefer to sleep in a sleeping bag and just put that on top of the bed. So if that's something that you think you're going to want to do, bring your sleeping bag with you. And then also another thing that would be good is to bring your Bible with you, bring snacks with you if you want to bring snacks. And then if you want to bring some board games to play, then you can always bring some board games and stuff as well. So the hotel that we are going to be staying in, it's the Wingate Hotel. For those of you who are choosing to drive there instead of take the bus, I can send you the address. You can see on the screen right now as well, but I will send that to you. It'll be included in this email. The rooming situation, if you're going as a family, you'll have a bedroom with 2 queen beds in it. If you're going as a married couple or a single adult, then you'll have a bed with 1 king bed in it. And for the teens, I'm going to have, for the girls, there'll be a set of 2 rooms joined together, and each of those rooms have 2 queen beds in them. So all the girls will be in one room. Well, one of those sets of 2 joined rooms. The guys will have another set of adjoined rooms that they'll stay in, and those will be on 2 different floors, and we'll have chaperones rooms bookending each of those rooms. And if you have any questions on that stuff, then you can always contact me and I'll clarify it for you. If your kids have any meds, make sure you give me a heads up that they have those meds. That'll be included in the form that I'm about to send to you all in this email. So make sure that you fill out that form. And so those are the big questions that I think that you might be asking. If you have additional questions, feel free to go ahead and shoot me an email, call me, or text me. So yeah, that's that information. So the final thing I wanted to share with you is this packet. Everybody's going to be receiving a packet. And in this packet, first of all, there's going to be the itinerary, so you can look at that. This packet's going to be put into a string bag, so you'll have a string bag as well, so you can keep some like bottles and souvenirs and stuff like that in there. There's going to be devotionals in there, so families, you can feel free to use these devotionals. Small group leaders, you can use these devotionals as well. And there's questions that are associated with them for discussions. There's also an optional scavenger hunt. It's an information scavenger hunt, so I have questions that you can find information while at the museums to answer these questions. For teens and for the kids, if they go through this and answer the questions, then they have the opportunity to win a prize as well. And the final thing that I want to share with you about this packet is that there's also a section that has additional resources. So the Ark Encounter has a lot of great information, the Creation Museum a lot of great information, but if this sparks an interest and you want to look up more information, you can always go to answersingenesis.org, and it'll give a lot of information along the lines that you'll see at these museums. Also, I've included sources for other forms of apologetics and other apologists. And these are for varying different ages. So I encourage you just to take a look at those different resources. And there's a lot of great information that you can learn. As a church, we don't necessarily agree with absolutely everything that all of these people would say, but it's still great sources that you can look at and you can learn from and you can grow through. So that's everything that I have for you guys. I know that was a lot of information, but I hope that you're excited for this trip. I know that I'm excited for it, and I'll see you this Thursday at 12:30.